Welcome back, ladies and gents, to another episode of the Comic Nation podcast. My name is Curtis, and I am your host. And join with me, as per usual, it's Mr. Roma. It's Luca Campbell. What's happening, Luca?
I'm good, yeah. Also, as you see, I've got the AC Roma t-shirt on right now.
AC,
But
it's AS.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean, Chris. So we have a goof on the Comic Nation podcast. No, this is actually from Italia. Because you bought me it when you went to Italy, Rome. So
Love my
this is
Italy.
vintage. This is vintage.
This is
No,
vintage. This is true vintage. Yes,
no
welcome
one's on
back,
the no
folks.
one's on the back. Just in case the viewers were listening, other listeners were listening. There's no one on the back. Curse wasn't that expensive. It
There you go. I
doesn't care
didn't
about
want to
that
waste
much.
money on some fake letters, and that he wouldn't know who the player is.
Yes, I would. Tammy Abraham's now.
Yeah, he only joined like 2 seasons ago.
So
But yeah, who cares? Listen, who cares? You're being a robot, okay? We've addressed that. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Combination Podcast. We are here to discuss today to discuss the latest release from the DC Extended Universe. It is, of course, the one and only. It is Shazam.
Shazam!
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 First of all, what we'll do is I'm going to find out for Luca what he thought of it. I just seen it last night. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was. It's not like an amazing superhero movie and stuff like that. But I really did enjoy it. I love the casting. I love the visual effects. There was bits of it I was like, ooh, and there was bits where I was like, ooh. So it's one of those ones. But look at just before we do, I just want to address that yes, we are recording this over Zoom at the moment. I know we spoke about it in the last podcast, but there is stuff going on in the background, and this PC that I'm currently doing it from at the minute is going to be getting boxed up because it will be getting upgraded in the next couple of days, hopefully, for a special project that's going to be coming, not just for the project, but for other projects in the future. But yes, keep an eye on our page, and if you can, follow Studio 23 podcasts. You will see we will be posting it on our page. So keep a wee eye on that. And yep, as I say, like the page. But look, sorry, get back to the thing. Look, what did you think of Shazam?
I so I quite liked it, I was a big fan of the first Shazam film, and I thought this one is very good. This one's very good. I don't think it's I wouldn't say it's quite the first Shazam, but the first Shazam was like a good film. So the first Shazam was like an 8, and this film's like a 7. But like I wouldn't say it's a bad film. I would go back and watch it again. It was very funny, and well, you guys, how much I like my Greek mythology, and or maybe you don't know that, cause
Be
but
Percy Jackson.
it's Perseus actually. Perseus from Perseus. So I think you should get your damn Greek mythology correct first. Percy doesn't exist. You damn moron. No, but he doesn't exist. Percy doesn't exist. Anyway, I like my Greek mythology, and Curtis just said something very dumb about it because I think it doesn't exist. But yeah, no, I liked it, and I all the references I saw about like the Minotaur, Cyclops, even though I think they showed 2 Minotaurs at once, even though technically there should only be one. There's only one in existence, but
It's
no,
just a
but I
movie.
like that.
Just a movie.
Well,
Remember,
I do. Well,
take it.
if they are going to have more accurate, I was supposed to say comic. No, if they're going to have more accurate
Mythology.
mythology in a damn movie, they should damn get it right. Curse. There's only one Minotaur. So I can get into the story about the Minotaur, but there's only one.
You sound very delicate about the whole
I was sitting
minotaurs
in the
and things.
seat. I was sitting in the seat next to my father. I was really ticked off when I saw 2 Minotaurs.
Really ticked off.
I was pretty ticked off.
As you can see, the Comic Nation podcast has got PG.
Yeah, exactly.
PG for
No, but I
pure.
liked it.
Yeah,
It was good.
I see. It's funny you say it wasn't as strong as the first one. I actually preferred it to the first one. I don't know if it was the comedy value behind it as well. I felt like they kind of taken off like the chains and stuff of Zachary Levi to have his chance to be quite funny. I just think like I know he's obviously been in a Marvel project, like in the Thors and things like that. I can't remember what his character is that he plays. See, like one of Thor's mates that he fights with. And like he was one, I think, and then was replaced, or he replaced someone. It was, I can't mind. It's the wee guy with the kind of mustache and kind of goatee beard, not like the kind of dwarf kind of guy, but one of them.
That's what I was thinking. Was he one of them? No, because we're talking about other cinematic universes he's been in. You have to mention the fact he was in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the older brother one. You can look up right now, but he's in that. He's in the third or fourth one. He's in.
There you go, folks.
The third or fourth one.
So you've had
it some more of Zachary Levi. You can watch a no, it's not the fourth one because it's not Chipwrecked. It's not the Squeakquel or the first one. I don't know what the first one's called. I think it's something about the run.
You're getting very. You must have ate a big bowl of like Skittles or something before you came on because you're getting very excited and you seem to be going off on a wee tangent here. Look, we're here to discuss Shazam. So let's go back to it here, right? So, folks, yes, I managed to catch it yesterday, so it's still pretty fresh in my brain. And for those that don't know, Shazam is obviously Shazam: Fury of Gods is the sequel to the first Shazam or whatever you want to call it. Cast pretty much returns the exact same, just obviously a wee bit older. Zachary Levi, obviously playing Shazam, as Billy. Is it Bateson or Batson? Is it Bateson? I believe it is.
Billy Batson.
Billy Batson. So he returns to play the main character. Zachary Levi, I thought was brilliant in this movie. Absolutely brilliant. He still had the kind of comedy value, as I say, but he had like the age of Billy Batson, because he's like a 17-year-old boy about to turn 18, still living in the foster family that he's with at the minute. Seems like the similar kind of guy, but he's very much family
first type guy.
Yeah, family first type guy. Whereas in the first one, you see that he tries to get away from these guys because just wants to find his mom and all that sort of stuff. He seems to have forgotten about all of that in this movie, so I'm glad that that's kind of been done. It seems like
he's letting go of the past.
He's accepted the family for who they are and what they bring to him. And obviously, if you have seen Shazam, the first one, then you know that they all get their powers. Like he shares this Shazam powers with them all, which they still have, which is brilliant. The casting, obviously, with the kind of main kind of villains in it, they're not really villain. There's one villain in particular, obviously, and that is, I believe it's Lucy Liu. She plays Calypso, if I'm right. She's the middle daughter of Atlas. So this is the powers that Shazam has, and it's by this, is it the god Atlas or whatever he goes by, or whomever.
Atlas is a Titan.
He's a Titan. But
I'm not allowed.
Oh, sorry, that's what it is. So he possesses loads of powers from different ones. So the wisdom of Solomon, or which is a wee reference to the movie Solomon. Yes. Then you've also got the strength of Hercules, stamina of Atlas, power of Zeus, and the courage of Achilles, or Achilles.
Achilles,
or Mercury as well.
Wait, what?
You all right there? You're having a moment?
You mentioned Achilles, but he's not a god.
He's so loud. You might want to turn your mic down a wee touch. I know. Very, very loud there. I think you're turning it up. You mind you've got it backwards. Turn your mic round.
Is this good?
Turn your mic round.
Is it? Wait, okay, I don't know. Oh god, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it didn't sound good. Sorry, folks. As you can see, we definitely are testing this. As you can see.
Am I still loud?
From Zoom. No, you're fine now. You're fine now.
Okay.
So you can see.
But
It's always a live podcast. We'll never edit out all the funny bits because it gets you a chance. There's always something Luca does in a podcast that we can always have a laugh at. I do tend to get a few people always messaging me saying, what is he all about? But yes. So we've got three main villains. We've got three main villains. Shut up. We've got three main villains in the movie. We've got Calypso, which is obviously, she's the middle daughter. So she's like the kind of bad one. I think it's like that whole middle child syndrome. We've also got, I believe it's Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren. Dame Helen Mirren, should I say? She is is it Hespera? Hespera.
Yeah, Hespera.
So she is the oldest daughter of Atlas, which is one of the gods. And then we have Rachel Zegler as Anthea/Anne, which is basically the love interest for Billy's younger foster brother, Freddie, which I thought, again, he was absolutely brilliant in the movie.
He was.
The movie itself was really, really good. It starts off with him trying to kind of keep everybody together, being a bit too family orientated and kind of keeping them together, whereas they all want to go and do like they all need to grow and do their own things. You know what I mean? Billy doesn't seem to have the ambition. There's a worry behind he's going to get kicked out of his foster home and things like that. But at the end, it becomes all this big thing and family. You know what I mean? It's like he says in the movie. He's watched all the Fast and Furious, and there's nothing stronger than family.
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 Nice to see you, guys. Come on, we practice this.
I feel that there's a lot in that movie that you could go back and quote on, which is something that I like. That's why I really like the Will Ferrell movies with like Step Brothers, all that kind of things, because you can quote them again. I don't know if it just sticks in my brain, and I feel like that's something that this film brings with the kind of comedy value of it. I thought the storyline was good, obviously the way it happened. So the storyline, pretty much, again, spoiler alert, is that these gods, well, the daughters of the gods, they're technically gods as well. They're trying to get back the staff, is which Shazam has, or Billy, basically, when he's passing it from the wizard. I thought he was brilliant. I'm not going to even pronounce his name because I will butcher it, and somebody will probably call me racist, but I won't do it. You'll know exactly who he is. He's been in tons and tons of movies. I think he's kind of trying to take this mantelpiece of like the biggest, like the actor to get in most geeky films. I think him and Andy Serkis are having a bit of a battle here.
Wait, who are we speaking about? Like, who's
the wizard?
Oh, him.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I don't really want to do it just in case I offend anybody by accident. Is it Demon? Demon Honshu? I feel like something like that. I can see here. I've got the name in front of me, but I just don't know how to pronounce it. It doesn't. I don't want to do a bad thing, but it's one of the ones. And he's absolutely amazing in the film as well. I really liked it. I get it's not as strong as a movie. Would you say that the film is somewhat kind of par with what Marvel's been releasing at the moment?
I think it's better than what Marvel have been producing at the current time.
Right. Is that movies or is that TV show?
What was the last MCU film? Sorry.
The last MCU film was it was Ant-Man. Ant-Man.
This might be a controversial take, but I'd watch Shazam over the new Ant-Man film. Ain't gonna lie. I'm not lying.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying anything about it. It's such. I personally preferred this Shazam film to the first one. I don't know if it was just. I don't know. I just loved all the comedy value, like the wee bits in the story, like all the family and things like that. Like there was one thing I really liked about this film was the superheroes, like when they turn into the Shazam, like when they say Shazam, they turn into their superheroes and things like that. You know what I mean? You get to see them actually more in action on a kind of day-to-day basis, but you also get to see them behind the scenes, and they're obviously in like the full outfit, the costume, their older selves and things like that. Obviously the one I was kind of glad to see that the boy Freddy, like getting to see him being his superhero, because that's something that he massively brought up in the first one, wanting to be a superhero. And obviously, you know what I mean, the boy has he's got a disability with his leg and things like that. So then he flips into this and he's like a totally brand new person. He's confident and things like that. And that's how he ends up getting in touch with that Anthea Ann sort of person. So she meets him at school, things like that. Love interest, all that kind of stuff. And then
that guy's Riz. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's a Riz master.
Captain Every Riz is his base name.
What was his superhero name that he called
Captain Every Power?
Captain Every Power, and he called Shazam Captain Every Power Jr. I was buckled to that. Do you know what made it so much funnier for me in the cinema is we were sitting at the back, and it was weird. We booked seats 4 and 5, but seat 5 was out of order. It had one of those like black sheet things on it, and it said out of order. So I was like, where the hell do we sit then? So we just sat to the side. Luckily, nobody sat beside us, so I was like, right, thank God for that. Well, they did, but they sat at either side, so nobody said like, hey, that's my seat sitting in, because there's nothing worse than going to cinema and somebody's either sitting in your seat or you go up and somebody's like, hey, you're sitting in my seat.
The second one's a lot worse. You'd rather be the person tell them to get out of your seat. You know what I mean?
Are you the sort of person that would tell people to get out of their seat?
Yes. I spent my damn money on that seat. You'll give me my damn seat, or I'll pick them up.
Damn money on any seat.
Yeah,
you've got a Cineworld card.
That's true. But I'll pick them up Batman style and go, hey. I am justice, and I fling them like down the stairs. You know what I mean? And they'll sit down, and then when they try to stand up, I'll shoot them with a boomerang. I mean a batarang. You know what I mean?
Well,
Just to prove who's the real Batman.
as Luca goes off on his tangent again in Fantasyland, yeah, one thing I did enjoy was one thing that happened, like in my cinema was in the front of me there was like younger kids with like their mum and dad.
Oh,
And
you
things like
enjoyed that, cuz?
No, I didn't enjoy that. That's why I'm trying to. You kind of just butt in like that. Then you've just made me look like a nonce, and I'm not a nonce. All right, this better not get clipped somewhere. But
You have
no,
a child behind you as well. Like,
yeah,
let's not
I
forget.
have the child behind me. Yes, but what's it called? Which is Grogu from Star Wars. In case anybody's not watching this in a video call,
Someone's
because I don't know
listening
if
to
it's
this,
going out, but it
man.
was just all audio, so people think
Someone listening to this must be like, what the what?
they're probably listening to going, "What the hell are these two talking about?" Like one
That's
of them
true.
keeps going off on a random tangent, and one of them keeps wanting to do like a podcast, but the other one isn't cooperating enough. You're lucky you're on the other side of a screen, boy. No, but let's get back to the thing. I'm trying to tell you.
Let's get back. Let's get back.
I'm trying to tell you my thing. So like a family sitting in front of us. I think it must have been about 3 or 4 wee boys, and then the mum and dad, and they sat in front of us, and it was like one of those things. Now I don't remember doing it when I was younger, right? But they sat in front of us, and see, anytime something happened, like the guy was to like fall into something, or like he would bang into the wall, or there was one particular part where I think somebody's head smacks off like a stone or something like that, and the 4 of them or 5 of them both all went ooh, and it was just that kind of comedic timing that they all together collectively went ooh.
Ooh,
one of them like sneezed as well, and it just made us laugh. Like I was just like they were well behaved like kids and stuff like that. It was so funny how engrossed they were in the movie. But I loved seeing that. Like, you know what I mean? I grew up with a lot of these well, not maybe a lot of these films. You know what I mean? We grew up with different sort of things. We never had like the Marvel cinematic universe or the DC universe, so it eventually grew into arms and legs. But yeah, I remember watching like films when I'm younger, being like that, like how you were just so engrossed as if it was so real. You're like, oh, that one bit in particular, right at the very start. Spoiler alert, is when she does. I don't know how he does it or how he gets flung. Like whatever happens to him, like he hits his head off the stone. But that was brutal. I was like,
that was brutal.
Even I
thought that film was gonna be a lot darker from like that one
it
scene.
was. There was a lot.
What it
You know
actually
what I mean?
was.
Well, that's another thing as well, because it did have the dark element behind it, which obviously is obviously recognized with DC. You know what I mean as well. So, and it's weird because
dark.
Well,
you're not from
know.
the DC universe.
It's so dark. Sure, you're not from the DC universe. One thing. Before we kind of talk about where we think obviously it's going to go, because obviously there was two kind of end credit scenes, and as I say, I don't want to get too much into the plot because basically, like, I don't want to ruin it for somebody, but I'm just kind of giving what our sort of opinions were. I know Lucas talked a lot of nonsense for the past.
I never talk nonsense.
But we'll let that slide. But see, like this with the movie, did you have a certain point where it was like you had a favorite moment in the movie? Did you have that at all? Any part in it?
A favorite moment.
If you don't have one, I can give you mine.
Oh wait, I have a moment. See when they're all sitting, like all the Shazam kids, they're all sitting like, in the rock fraternity, and it does like a close up on Mary. Yeah, that was no joke. But
I was like, where are you going with this? Because
I watched this film for her. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, did you have the fancies? Did you have the fancies?
Yeah, she's older sister. I ain't gonna lie.
She didn't change though. Like
she didn't change exactly.
Actress, didn't she? No, she didn't change anything. So she must be at the age where that's what she would look like, as you know what I mean, as older or whatever it is. So that's quite interesting. That because I think she was obviously the only one that did that, because I don't imagine the wee fat Mexican guy changed into his.
You don't want to be offensive earlier, and you just went and said that.
But he is. That's what it literally says. He's Mexican stepbrother. That's what it says. Mexican's not racist. It'd be different if I said something like,
you call him a fat little Mexican. That is racist, guys.
Well, he is. He's a plump Mexican male.
That's exactly what you say, Curtis, and you keep it that way. I don't know you're speaking.
Can't say the word fat anymore. My God, am I going to be cancelled? What's it called? like the kids were all great. You didn't really see much. Like the youngest one, she was funny.
She was
Like
funny.
good wee Darla, I liked her. But you didn't really see much of the Eugene boy.
Was that
Like
the smart guy, the grey one?
the Asian one.
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay.
It was the Pedro boy that get most of the kind of the show. Like it was good. I just like the fact you could hear them speak. Like you got to hear them speak as the superheroes. Like whereas the Shazam, I don't think they even spoke a word. They were just pretty
No,
much like
they just
standing
stood
like
there like
they
Phil.
just stood like Supermen. You know what I mean? It was one of those ones. But that's it. Look, puff out that wee pigeon chest.
Was that pigeon chest?
Yep. Right.
Seagull chest.
So the obviously with the Pedro thing as well, like, and again, sorry, spoiler alert. I liked his wee story. You know what I mean? I like that. One of the bits that I really like. This isn't my favorite bit, but one of the bits I liked was when they kind of were coming together and they were like, right, say it all together or whatever, and they all went, "We're superheroes," and he just went, "I'm gay." I was like,
Mom, I'm gay.
but I really like the fact that it was like the Billy, obviously Zachary Levi turned around and was like, "We nobody, like it's all right." I'm like, and he was like, "You guys knew?" And they're like, "Yeah, of course, it's fine." And I like that it was just like, "Oh, that was
Yeah,
him
look at your
selling it,"
damn shoes.
because you could tell, you know what I mean. He was dead shy and he was kind of recluse and things like that.
Yeah.
He was smart as well. I like the fact that he called the magic pen. What was it, Stephen?
Wasn't Yeah, Steve.
He
Yeah.
called it Stephen, and he's like, "He looks like a Stephen." I'm like, what Stephen do you know looks like a pencil?
Imagine that just
It
like
was just
dissing
me,
someone when they're
comedy
writing.
bits to it. Like it was,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the finish. Uh, Another wee spoiler alert, as we say, like we get a special cameo from a particular character in the DC universe, which was great to see. I was surprised that we didn't see them earlier in the film when they were doing the full
Oh
dream
yeah.
thing, but I like the fact that it then built up to then you did see that character later on. So if you do want to find out who that character is, please go and see the movie. It's currently not doing too well at the
Oh,
cinema.
it's not doing well at cinema at all, probably.
For a budget of like $125 million, it's only really made about 102. I know it's a lot of money, but they like
For a big
this
movie like that.
this is the thing that separates obviously Marvel to DC in it. It's like, you know what I mean? With Marvel, you're pretty much guaranteed that they will probably make their money back in the first weekend, or then they'll probably double it. Whereas with DC at the minute, it's why do you think that is? Why do you think that DC can't make any real profits with these kind of movies?
I think that the DCEU has been too inconsistent with films.
Mm-hmm.
So you might get a really good one, and then you might get a pure stinker. So people have just went, well, like casual people. So it's like me and you, like we'd go watch every like comic ones when it comes out. But most people aren't like that. When they go like, oh, a new Ant-Man film's out. I know Ant-Man. Let me go like see that. Or a new Iron Man film's out. But then you're like Shazam. Most people don't really know who Shazam is.
Yep.
And like,
Well,
and
it's
like,
funny
come
you
on,
say
like,
that because I mean I went with Rebecca and she hadn't even seen the first one. I'm like,
exactly
that was only released like, oh, it's
2018 or
40
something.
years ago. It was 2019. Well, is it 2022? Yeah, 4 years ago. So I'm like, I'm surprised at that. Like how you never seen it. You know what I mean? Considering it is, but I just like as you say, I just don't think it's very consistent with their movies and the story. Like there's no linear pattern there. It's that this is the this. Do you know this is the 12 in the DC like extended universe thing. Like
12.
this is the 12 movie of it. Which if you're DC, they could be flinging out movies every year if they
Exactly.
wanted to. The amount of characters they have, like I think they're now heading in a direction which is more clear, and I think they will pick up obviously with James Gunn taking over as the CEO or whatever it is he goes by, creative director. I'm not sure what he goes by, but I think now that they've got somebody in who is a comic book
Nerd.
guru or genius, whatever you want to call it, I
Yeah.
think they'll be. I think they will start to get better. I don't think they'll rival Marvel and things like that straight away. Marvel need to watch their tails. I think Marvel are starting to get a bit.
They've got a
lackluster.
bit too comfortable. Too
Yes,
comfortable. Like, oh, we can just throw anything. There's not
they've
really
been, they've been
competition.
sitting at the top. They
But
know
like,
they can make their
if
money.
DC are only going like, oh, let's shoot for our best, and like Marvel are like, oh, let's just like shove it with
Yeah.
any. Like the quality,
DC
like
aren't
DC's
accepting
quality is going
any.
to be up here, and then
Aye,
Marvel's quality is going to be down here,
they're
and then
they're,
in
they're
no
not
time,
accepting any, like as you say, like it's quality over quantity with them, which was what
yeah.
Marvel did at a time, and that's when I really liked it. One thing like that we've spoke about it a couple of times now in the podcast, and like how many times are they going to keep just releasing a movie after every couple of months and stuff like that? Like I'm all for the TV series and things like that because it keeps me interested and there's all that thing. But I'm like, see when you've got a big massive project, like you know what I mean, the Secret Wars and the Kang
Oh, did you
Dynasty
hear
and
about
things like
that, by
that.
the
Like
way?
no,
Like with the
what is it?
script and all that.
The what?
Kevin Feige, the script and all that. Kevin Feige read it. It was pure rage, like throwing chairs and all that. Apparently, it was like just ripped up the script. So the guy that wrote the script for Secret Wars, he's gonna just have make another one. He's pure raging. See with like Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, he's raging with the scripts right now, and
It's
he's
not that.
mad
Well,
with how things are
to
turning
be
out.
fair, I don't think Marvel's had a good creative team since I mean Endgame. Realistically,
Not
it's
genuinely.
not
No,
I mean
that's right.
it's not had the same attention that it has. And I don't know if that's like us as fans or it's them. You know what I mean? I'm like I don't imagine they'd have made too many changes to their personnel of people that are like writing these things and directing things. But I don't know if we just got it so wet, like so good for so long, and now we're just being very nitpicky. Because I'm a big believer if something's not broken, why fix it? That I'm a big believer in that. But I don't know. I'm hoping that they up their game. We've obviously got Guardians of the Galaxy coming out in May. I think it's the 5th of May, I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
it is.
think so.
So that is probably for me one of the biggest releases this year. I think because it's obviously we know it's the last of the Guardians and things like that.
As
We're
we
going to
know them.
well
Oh
as
yeah,
we
the
know
grand
as
as we know them.
maybe this team this
This
Guardians team,
team, yeah.
but we're getting like Adam Warlock and things like that, and he
Oh,
is
oh, oh.
I'm sure he's a big part of Secret
He's
Wars. Like
yeah.
I'm currently reading the comics. I've stopped for a wee while. I'm going to go back and read them again. I've got them all on my Kindle. You can get them in your Kindle and things like that. Because if you can manage to get those comics for a cheap price, buy it. I guarantee you, buy it. If you're an investor or something like that, get in there and buy it. I think I've got one of the comics, and I think it's like so say it's like a 12-parter. I've got like 8 or something like that, like volume 8 or something like that I just happened to find. It's probably not the best of condition. If I'm honest, the front looks okay, but I'm pretty sure the back is. And I know that's a lot of big thing with the condition things like that. That goes for any comic book, but yes, I would if you could and you could get it, 100% pick up. But we'll get back to Shazam now. We've had a rant about Marvel and things like that, and why it's not working, and why DC's not working, and maybe they'll pick up with James Gunn and things like that. The TV series are absolutely booming. That's one thing DC have over Marvel is they've got better
Yep.
TV series. I still need to watch
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. I will get onto that.
Peacemaker is amazing, by the
I
way.
do. I really want to get onto it. I've been seeing a lot of John Cena recently on my like my TikToks and things like that because WrestleMania is coming up. That's not next weekend, possibly the following weekend.
Is he in it?
WrestleMania. Yep, he's competing at
What?
WrestleMania. He's competing against Austin Theory for the US title, I believe. It's a two-day thing. I remember when WrestleMania was just one night, but they're doing it over 2 days now. So, which
Where
is
is
probably
Rey
better for people
Mysterio?
because I feel like it was a very long, like say like us in the UK where you have to sit up till like stupid o'clock at night and watch it. Obviously, you
Yeah,
can
like the
get
Super
back to it.
Bowl type thing.
So just to kind of wrap everything up with Shazam, as I say, we don't want to give too much of the plot away. I don't think I even got to say what my favorite part was. My favorite part was see when they did the when they've got the apple and it's floating or whatever it is, and they're like, we have to sneak to get it.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good bit.
I'm going
I'll
to
give
sound
you
like a
that.
terrible person, but see when they were saying to him like, I'm great at sneaking or whatever it was, and the guy was like, right, okay, whatever, and then it just cuts to a shot, and he's like hobbling and his crutch. I tell you what, I buckled out laughing because I was like, that is the least sneakiest person I've ever seen in my life. And somehow these bitches cannot see him. I was absolutely gutting myself. I just thought he was brilliant in the movie. He was probably my favourite in the movie. Young Freddy, I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
Yes, no, I agree with
Not
that.
that Zachary Levi wasn't. Like, again, he's just class. He's great at Shazam. I feel like there's some people that are just put on the earth to do certain roles, like, I mean, Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool and such, like, and obviously RDJ with Iron Man things. I think he was definitely put on this. I'm gutted that we won't see Henry Cavill again as Superman. I feel like they've definitely lost out on that DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll finish it off. Look out, you've kind of touched on the rating, but I'm hoping because we've maybe talked about it, you've had time to think about an actual Comic Nation approved rating. What would you give Shazam if you were? Well, again, we've had a chat. So what would you give your Comic Nation rating for it?
You know what? See earlier, I said a 7 out of 10, but we doing this and we loving the thing because I saw it like when it first came out. So you know, after like reliving this moment, having a good like chuckle about it, and seeing where the future of DC lies after this film, I'm going to give it a good old 8 out of 10.
I would give it an 8. I'd give it an 8. So there you go, folks. The Comic Nation seal of approval. It has an 8. Maybe that's something we can look at doing and looking at movies and giving our Comic Nation rating for it as well. Maybe we could do something like that. But that is us for another episode of the Comic Nation podcast. We do have, as I say, big plans coming. I don't know, as I say, hopefully we will get back together and do the in-house podcast and things like that as well. You just have to stick around for it because it will be coming very, very soon. A big, big announcement, as we say. Follow the page, like the page, follow us on Instagram, YouTube. As I say, subscribe and things like that. They're all free to do. You do not need to pay a single penny. And if you do that, you will get to see so much updates from us, and we will keep you in the loop with a special project that we've got going on with Studio 23, which is coming soon to Renfrewshire. So keep an eye on that for us, folks. And thank you very much for listening. As I say, find us YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want, you name it, we are there. And we will be back. We've got some things to discuss, like the Mandalorian, things like that to come up. We also were talking about the end episodes, well, the ending now of My Hero Academia and Blue Lock, which both have a new season. So maybe we will discuss that and maybe a shorter podcast, maybe again throughout the week or sometime. We've got a wee free settings. But thank you again so much for listening, folks. My name's Luca Curtis, and obviously thanks very much, Luca, for joining us again. Obviously, it is your job, you are the co-host, but thank you very much, sir. I know you're a busy man with your basketball and volleyball.
That's true.
But thanks very much for listening, folks. Take care for now, and we'll see you again in the next one. Take care.
Goodbye.